Hi BookTube, this is Anna from the Bookish Athena, and today I'm going to be talking about all of the books that I read in January. Unfortunately, I didn't get to too many books this month. I actually had a career board for my job, so things were a little bit hectic, but I did manage to read 2 books this month that I'm going to go over with you guys today. So let's go ahead and get started. So as most of y'all know, there was a new Star Wars movie that came out at the end of last year. I liked it, and I really felt like J.J. Abrams paid a good homage to the George Lucas films. I was talking to my husband about, the fact that I felt like some things were lacking from the new movie, and he suggested that I start picking up the Thrawn trilogy. And of course, this is the first book in the Thrawn trilogy. It's called Heir to the Empire. And that's what it looks like, and this is by Timothy Zahn. So basically at the start of the book, as the back of the book says, after Return of the Jedi, Grand Admiral Thrawn, who is the warlord, has taken over the shattered Imperial fleet, and his entire purpose is basically to destroy, as it says, the fragile heart of the New Republic. And the New Republic is being rebuilt by several people, including Princess Leia, Han Solo, and Luke Skywalker. And so that's where we kind of pick up at the very beginning. Kind of takes you through and shows you what Princess Leia and the others have been doing to build up this new republic, to reach out to other planets and kind of bring everybody together and rally support from that. And it has soon become known that there is a warlord that has taken over the Starfleets and is trying to go after the New Republic. So there are some space battles in it a little bit, and I really enjoyed it. It definitely filled some holes for me with the new movie, because I feel like all of the actors and actresses from the old Star Wars films are so much older. Like, I really wish I could have kind of seen this as a movie, but it would have been really great. But it's great to read it. And so, as I said, this is a trilogy, so there are 3 books. This is the first one, and I don't remember the name of the second one, but it'll be a comment somewhere here below. And it, like I said, it's really good. So if you like Star Wars and if you want to read more, I would definitely look into this series. Timothy Zahn is praised by every Star Wars fan who has ever read him. And so I would definitely highly suggest it. Another book that I tried to finish in January that I really could not get that into, I decided to kind of give up on it, is the Rogue Squadron X-Wing series. This is the first book in 9 books, and I decided to DNF it. Do not finish. And the main reason is because it's very space battle heavy, which I prefer more of the way that Timothy Zahn kind of tells the Star Wars story, with a lot more character development. And I just didn't feel like this book had a whole lot of it. Now, the one positive I have about this book is the main character that we follow in this particular book. His name is Corran Horn, and he's well known among the avid Star Wars community. He's in several other books, and I liked his character. I thought he was a good kind of character that grows into a really good leader, and you kind of get to see some other characters from the movies that don't normally get a lot of time in the film. So that was good. Like Wedge Antilles shows up quite a lot because he's the one who rebuilds the Rogue Squadron. And General Akbar he shows up quite a lot because he kind of oversees everything for the new rebuilding of the X-Wing pilots. And it definitely is a very technical heavy book, but I have to applaud Michael Stackpole, who is the author, for his ability to get down to the really technical aspects of an X-Wing. Like, thumbs up for that. And if you want to read about all that kind of stuff, this is definitely your book. If you've read all of the series and you think I should reconsider reading this, let me know in the comments below. So the next book I picked up after I finished Heir to the Empire, and it was kind of like a quick contemporary read. I've heard a ton about this book from all over the booktube community, and I finally wanted to pick it up because I was kind of ashamed I hadn't picked it up yet. And that book is Hopeless by Colleen Hoover. It was a breeze to read. I think I finished it in 2 sittings, which is crazy. So this follows a character named Sky, And Skye has been living in the same town pretty much her entire life. And little does she know, she's been living down the same road from a guy named Dean Holder. And Skye is homeschooled. And so she's never gone to public school. She's never really gone out a whole lot. Her mom has very strict rules as to what she can do. Like, she can't have a cell phone or a Facebook, or she doesn't really have a normal teenage lifestyle, I would say. But her mom is very protective. But her mom is also a very good mother. So anyway, she's living right down the road from Dean Holder, but she hasn't really ever encountered him until she goes to the grocery store one day and she meets this guy, and there's this really weird interaction between the two of them. He gets really odd, starts asking her questions like, "Are you sure your name is Skye?" So she starts public school at the very beginning of the school year. And Dean, of course, goes to public school. So kind of follows her as she meets some really, new and interesting friends. And slowly, as the book goes on, kind of explains what her background is and why Dean treats her kind of weird. The second book is the point of view of Dean, and it's called Losing Hope. And I don't know if I'm gonna read it or not. This is very Twilight-y in a lot of ways, and so I had some issues with it, but like I said, I read it in 2 readings. Like, I enjoyed it way too much, but there are some things that happen that are kind of unrealistic. Like, they end up staying in a hotel for a reason I won't spoil, but they end up staying at a hotel for like 3 days. Like, I know if I was a teenager and I was staying in a hotel for 3 days with a guy, my mom would have had a fit. So there were just kind of things like that that are just kind of weird. There's a big plot twist in the middle of the book, and it's huge, and it definitely kind of pushes Skye to have to grow and make some very adult decisions about her life. Highly recommend if you love contemporary YA. It's definitely right up your alley. And if you love Twilight and romance and all that, yeah, if you have not read this, please do yourself a favor and pick it up. Okay, so those are all the books. I only read 2 books in January, and I DNF'd 1, unfortunately. I'm gonna go over the books that I hope to read. So the first one, I'm gonna preface this with saying it is the second book in a series that I really like, or I really liked the first one. So I read Biggest Flirts by Jennifer Eccles last year. So this book series is called The Superlatives, and basically the whole premise is that in this high school they have voted most likely to succeed, most popular, biggest flirts, the perfect couple that never was, that kind of thing. And Tia and Will in this one obviously get voted the biggest flirts, which it's totally believable given some of the interactions that they have. But the second book is called The Perfect Couple, technically that never was. And this one follows Harper and Brody. Brody is like the typical high school jock, and Harper actually is a photographer for the high school newspaper. And Harper is she's very friendly and open. Brody, I feel like he's got a lot more to him as the book goes on. But anyway, they're voted the perfect couple that never was, Harper and Brody. And so there's like this big, like, what does that mean? And should we investigate this? And Harper's got a boyfriend, so there's some drama there too. This one, I will definitely let y'all know what I thought about it. So the next book that I hope to get to in February and have already started is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I have been eyeing this book since I bought it. Rainbow Rowell, if you have not read Fangirl, you need to stop what you're doing right now and read Fangirl. This book is based on the fan fiction that Kath writes in Fangirl. So this book follows Simon Snow and his roommate Baz, and they basically go to a school of magics that is very, very similar to Hogwarts. And so I've only read maybe 27 pages of it. I love the different ways that she's kind of interwoven like Hogwarts type themes with some of her own twist to it. I hope to finish it and be able to tell you guys what I thought about it next month. So the next book that I really want to get to, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I read it when I was 15 years old. and I have never reread it. And I would really like to reread it because I feel like there are nuggets that I didn't pick up when I was 15 that I would now. And plus, who doesn't want to read about Mr. Darcy again? I mean, come on. I may not necessarily get through it in February, but dadgummit, I'm going to read this book this year. It has to happen. So this is another book I hope I get to, Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen. That's pretty much all I have in terms of the books that I'm going to hopefully be reading soon. And some of them I've already started. And also the books that I read in January. So let me know what you guys read in January and about any of the books that I mentioned. If you've read them or you have a comment about them, just let me know in the comments. And thank you so much for watching this video. Bye. Hi BookTube, this is Anna from the Bookish Athena, and today I'm going to be